So 100 Thieves had this great macro style in Spring Split where they were really slow and they kind of 1-3-1 people and bled them to death. And C9 had that really good macro too for a while. You know, we know High was the main part of it, but there were other players on that team. And Afro was the main part of 100 Thieves, but there are other players on that team. And now Optic has good macro.
No, Mark, I can see where you're heading here, but the problem is, I can assure you, I remember talking to this cat called Locodoco, who told me he was a two-time LCS champion coach, and he explicitly told me, why the fuck would TSM want Meteos? Because Meteos, like,
TSM Meteos would never work out. TSM Meteos would never work out. I will still stand by that.
I was in that game.
Homie, right now, no one works for TSM. That's why they're literally trying two junglers at the same time in the pivotal summer
No one worked for TSM, so by not having anyone work, they went to Spring Finals. They have working junglers, Doran. They went to Spring Finals with one of them.
Are they better than Meteos?
What? For TSM, yes. For TSM, yes. Isolated,
you can't know that, you idiot. You've never seen them play. Like, you're guessing. That's speculation.
Yes, it's speculation, but I'm speculating they won't make Spring Finals with Meteos, where they made it with Acadian. That's the bar that Meteos has to pass. He either has to make Spring Finals or do better.
Great speculation on something that can't ever actually be fucking run, you moron. Why are you speculating on that one? It's a fact. They cannot make the Spring Finals with Meteos. He cannot go, unless he has a DeLorean and he can hit 88 miles an hour.
We can ask analysts. We can think about it with.
All right, go on then. Why, as an analyst, didn't you predict Meteos to be super sick on Optic?
No, Duncan.
Then go on, speculate for me. Go on.
Answer this question.
Right, cosplay an analyst for a moment and tell me.
Do you think TSM would have made Spring Finals with Meteos last split? Do you think they would have made Spring Finals?
They probably would have won.
Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, dumbass. Oh my fucking God.
No. But here's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is you did underrate Meteos. Come on.
I did underrate Meteos, yes. Go ahead, Mark.
I underrate Meteos, but we're not being fair to Meteos. I kind of been sucking his dick this whole time, but he has flaws too. Like,
of course.
He is not easy to get along with. Like he's done this great job of painting his like personality problems as like, oh, I just disagree on the game with people really hard. Like,
no, he clearly has like an insubordinate nature. Like, if you just look at the teams that have removed him, by the way, they've removed him in the context that he is probably the greatest jungler North America has ever produced. It's basically only between him and Xmithy, right? Yeah. Xmithy's already on the best team. So I agree. There's a good reason he isn't on Cloud9 now, TSM now. That's true. But people took that. Like, I guess basically the best way to describe it is this. People took that out of the game problem he has, and they made it sound like in game he wasn't very good. Whereas actually, to be fair, I don't think you could. I personally don't think Meteos has ever been actually like legit bad. He had maybe that bit at the end of Cloud9 where he was a little bit of a meme, but even then, like, he's had so many times on so many different teams now that like it is kind of wild that he almost didn't have a team at all. Because remember, before Optic, he was just not going to be in LCS.
Yeah, and part of that was him too, being like, I want to play in a team like old C9. We were all buds and whatnot. So like, I agree. Like, TSM's culture is very like, you know, almost militant in like, you know, their structure and their order, and like, I'm not sure he would have fit in with that. But like, the new TSM does look memeier and more fun. Like, Broken Blade's a really funny guy. Acadian's pretty trolled. Bjergsen seems to have lightened up a little bit since like their 2016 days when they were like super grind lords. So maybe he could have worked out. I don't know.
No way, no how. There's like other stuff that I don't want to talk about on the show, but no way, no how. Don't even.
This is the. By the way,
even with like the analytic part, no way, no how. You add the realistic part, also no way, no how.
See, the problem with Loco is if he knows like any story about what a player did or didn't do in private, like he just actually applies that in the game of League of Legends.
No,
like, he's just not actually aware that like all you need to know is this, mate. H2K made top 4 at Worlds while they had to literally make one of the players not live in the same house because like that would just cause everything to burn down. Like, you can manage difficult egos, Loco. It is possible. I realize you come from NA, so you all think it's impossible.
No how.
But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This is going to be a side rant, but this is for the Prollies of the world, for all the coaches out there, the Jack Etiennes of the world is. You know the way all your kids, your actual kids, are all grown up to be brats because you've just been telling them, like, time out, Billy, you have to think about what you did there. And then all they do with that time out is just hate fuck you in their mind. Second I get a chance, I'm going to do drugs, I'm going to fucking fail school. Like, it doesn't work. That approach does not work. Now, here's the thing. I am prohibited by the rules of Twitch and many other places from saying what you maybe could do instead. You will have to guess as to what other parenting methods you could use. But eventually there's got to be some kind of disciplinarian approach, because this is the thing I don't get. I understand in the early days of LCS why players could act out, like salaries weren't very big, coaches had no power, etc. But sooner or later, some of these owners and some of the staff have to just be able to be an actual adult and be like, that's not acceptable behavior, or listen, we find a clever way to tell them how brilliant they are as a player, but then get them on board behaviorally as well. Because the key thing with someone like Meteos is you don't need him to be a fucking Boy Scout. He doesn't have to be like awesome. He just has to tone it down a little bit. A little bit.
I think with franchising, power shifted way more to teams. Like some of the benchings that we've seen, I don't think ever would have happened in non-franchise era. 100 Thieves would have never let Meteos go in middle of the split in a non-franchising era. So I do think power is shifting to the teams. Now they just have to be good about dealing with personality. Now they do have the power and the ability to bench anyone.
To be fair, that's also the aspect that we've already discussed, which is that is also what's different about franchising. Since there's no relegation, if every GM just decides, fuck this guy, then you're just out of the league. It's like the NFL. There's been players that's happened within the NFL who are legit starters who just had a really, like they did some fucked up shit in real life, or, they were like really bad with how they argued with the management. And some of them literally, like no team will sign you after that. And that's what LCS is going to become now, I think.
It's already happened kind of close with Dardoch and Cody and Meteos.
Sure.
So, like, I think if you burn enough teams, you start risking like the remaining team just being like, it's not worth it.